Race. It's always a wonderful race, Jen, a great atmosphere, and these fillies are just blooming as they come into the mounting yard.
Yes, a lot of money here involved with these horses parading around the ring here, and they're absolutely beautiful, these fillies.
And speaking of beautiful, have a look at this lovely filly. Number 1, Dane La, to be ridden by Damien Oliver, one of Lee Friedman's 3 runners in the race. She settled down 5th, relaxed in a slowly run race at the Valley against the Colts, importantly, and she acquitted herself well.
She sure did, and she is the Blue Diamond winner after all, so I thought her effort behind Inner Flurry was a terrific effort, and from barrier 12 she's probably going to need a little bit of luck, but she's got the class in the race.
Jennifer, 7 of the past 12 Wakeful Stakes winners have gone on to win the Oaks, and number 2 Grand Archway fits into that category. She's tightened up about 90 cents into $8. She's ridden by the champion New Zealand apprentice Opie Bosson and is trained by Graham Rogerson here at Flemington.
I thought she showed a great will to win that race too on Saturday, and she comes into this race fit and well, and I think she's there with some chance in the race because she will get the distance.
Dane La raced against the Colts and Geldings at Moonee Valley. Toy Carousel raced against them and beat them here in the first race of the carnival on Saturday. Larry Cassidy takes the ride. Stephen Alderson is the trainer for his mother and father. What an up and down carnival it has been for the Alderson family, and this might be fitting a winner here on Oaks Day.
She put in a very gutsy win there on Saturday. I thought it was a terrific effort there. Now that was 1,600 metres, 2,500 today. I thought in the Geelong Oaks trial she did have every chance there, Peter. Beaten by another horse that contests in this race, a Podgy Storm. It's a big distance jump, but she's a place chance.
Clary Connors has won this race twice as a trainer with those very colours a couple of years ago on Arborea, and Confer number 4 is to be ridden by Shane Dye, and she didn't have a great deal of luck on Saturday.
No, she was going for a run on the fence there and she was stuck there for quite some time. She's only small. I think she's probably the best of the Sydney fillies contesting here, but she still is a maiden, so I'll give her a place chance.
One of the outsiders, number 5, Carmen S, trained by Bruce Elkington at Mount Moriac. Craig Williams as the rider ran 3rd in that Oaks trial at Geelong.
Yes, and that was behind Apogee Storm and also Toy Carousel. Now, over the final 100 metres, just couldn't match it there, and I just don't know whether she's quite good enough in this race.
Number 6, Rosa War, the 2nd of Lee Friedman's runners and the 2nd of the Danehill trio that he has engaged, is to be ridden by Jim Cassidy for Lee Friedman. She had to go up the front earlier than she would have liked the other day, and she battled on really well.
On breeding, you'd say that she's definitely going to run this distance out because her mother, Savannah City, did win the AJC Oaks. Now, it was a good win there at Moonee Valley. She will stay. She's a good filly and a very good chance. Getting
back in the field will be number 7, Rose of Dane, and the rider Greg Hall is carrying a blue cap to distinguish those colours from the stablemate in Dane La. But Greg Hall will ride her beautifully, and she has been finishing off her races so well.
Yes, her last 3 have really had a lot of merit there, Peter. I thought she probably comes into this race very strongly because she will be running on at the end, as we saw in the Wakeful Stakes. So she's there with a very strong chance for Greg Hall.
Can Chris Muntz make it 2 of the feature races over the carnival? The Melbourne Cup winning jockey rides number 8, Curio Jade, here for Bruce McLaughlin, and when we spoke to him earlier, he thought it had a good each-way hope.
Well, going on her run in the Wakeful Stakes, she didn't have a great deal of luck. She was blocked for a run in the straight, and she ran on all right. So the way Chris is riding, he's got all the confidence in the world. He'll give her every chance, and I think she's a place chance.
Jennifer, we've spoken about the Oaks trial, and here is the winner, number 9, Apogee Storm. Brett Preble is in sensational form in this carnival. She'll lack nothing on the score of horsemanship with that young man sitting on her back, and Dean Saxon at Mount Gambier could be in for his biggest win.
I think she's got a pretty good chance at very good odds here. I go back 2 starts ago for her in the Morphettville Guineas. Now, that was an excellent effort. She was 3 or 4 wide. She was even wider before approaching the turn. She was only beaten just over a length. It was an amazing effort, and then she came out and won the Geelong Oaks trial. So going on those 2 runs, she's in form.
And the JB Cummings pair down the bottom, 11 Love to Honour around the $44 mark. Lenny Beasley rides for Bart Cummings. She ran on okay the other day.
Yes, she's a horse that does need the pace on to suit her. Now, if that's the case, she should be running on well at the end of this race. She just lacks a little bit of sprint for mine, but she's not the roughest.
And there we saw the master looking on, and here is the 2nd of his runners, number 12, Zaza Bell, who of course is by the super size Zabeel. She's at $10.40. She's ridden by Patrick Payne. She led in the Wakeful and maybe ridden a little bit more quietly. We might see a really good effort from this filly.
I think that's the key to Zaza Bell because she does like to get back, or she runs her best races when she gets back and runs on. Now, she's the only Zabeel horse in the race, and we know that they can stay. If she happens to be ridden back, I think she'll come into it at the end, maybe a place chance.
I can tell you that Jenny Chapman's trifecta is 6, 9 and 7. for those fans of Jen's, let's take a look right through the tote call for the Crown Oak Stakes with Dan Malicki as they go to the gates.
Danelaw 430 and the favourite Rose of Dane at stablemate 470. So at the moment Lee Freedman has the first, second and fourth picks in the Crown Oaks. Could be a trifecta. The long shots are on the second page with Curio, Jade Apogee, Storm, Love to Wanna and Zaza Bell, who's certainly been kept safe, trained by Bart Cummings in the great and famous Saintly colours. So that's the look down the tote for the 1998 Crown Oaks. Tim Gossage.
Well, they opened up the three Freedman horses, Dan, all favourites. Danelaw, Rose of War and Rose of Dane. And Rose of Dane has been incredibly backed. It is easily the best backed runner in the bookmakers ring, and it will start a clear-cut favourite in the Crown Oaks. Good specking too for Grand Archway and Zaza Bell. But Rose of Dane will start a hot favourite in the Oaks.
The 2,500 metre start is one of the most spectacular in Australian racing, right in front of the grandstands. And here are the last-minute check of the selections. Jennifer's gone for Rose of War. It's Danelaw for Richard Freedman and Gary Willits. Confer from John Letts. Grand Archway from Dan Malicki. And Rose of Dane for myself. So you can see there are plenty of these fillies who have a wonderful chance. And the nerves would be a little bit on edge down there at the 200 metre mark. The start of the famous Oaks Stakes. Roy Higgins won the race 5 times. And he knows what it takes. Has that filly, Danelaw, got what it takes, Roy?
She got my top choice out of the yard, Pete. She's a big, strong Danehill. I think she's been set specifically for this race for quite some time. She looked excellent. I think it gets back to Nilia Freedman's Oaks. They've got 3 undeniable chances. I think if there's an upset for the Freedmans, not for the Oaks, but I think the 3, Toy Carousel, she has done an absolute treat since that very good win against the Colts and Geldings here on Saturday, and her run in the Geelong Derby trial was excellent. She's trained right on. And the other 2 from the Freedman camp, 7 Rose of Dane and 6 Rose of War, both looked excellent. So in summary, I went 1, 3, 7 and 6 for the 1998 Oaks here at Flemington.
The thoughts of champion jockey Roy Higgins, courtesy of Sport 927. And isn't this a great sight? It always is on the Saturday, the first day of the carnival, when they start the Victoria Derby in front of the grandstands here, and then we come to the third day. And of course there's a lot at stake here. There's round about $500,000 in stake money. There is a magnificent trophy which is valued at $3,000, provided by the sponsors Crown, and of course success is guaranteed as a matron. And there is the gorgeous trophy for the connections of the winner of the Crown Oak Stakes. And it's only just a matter of time before we'll be seeing these wonderful fillies dashing down to the first turn, and they'll want to occupy position. Just the last minute adjustments being made to the gear, just the tightening of the girth strap, make sure that everything's in order. After all, there's no second chances here. This is one of the big ones. And the owners have had dreams ever since they picked out these fillies at yearling sales that one day, maybe one day, they might just be good enough to run in a race like the Oaks. And one of them is going to be good enough to win it in round about 3 or 4 minutes' time. So Lee Freedman with 3 runners here, and keep an eye out for these horses as far as the Cups next year are concerned. I don't think there's any doubt that if Kensington Palace had have stayed sound, the winner of the race last year, she would have been amongst the Cups contenders, because after all, she really looked like a staying filly when she won here 12 months ago. Unfortunately, she went amiss, but maybe in 12 months' time, it might be one of those fillies, Zaza Bell, Danelaw, Rose of War, Carmen-esque, that we can see out behind the gates, and Rose of Dane, that filly in the centre of the screen there with Greg Hall. Just reminding you, the colours are very similar there. It's pink and blue hoops for both Danelaw and Rose of Dane. And the rider of Danelaw is going to be carrying a pink and blue hooped cap, and the rider of Rose of Dane, number 7, carries a blue cap to distinguish those colours. What a wonderful scene it is, looking back towards the members' grandstand here at Flemington. It's had a great build-up, this race. I'm sure it's going to live up to all expectations. For the last-minute thoughts of Gary Willits, let's go up to the commentary box as he stands beside Dan Malicki, who's casting his eye over the Oaks field.
Yes, thanks very much, Peter. Well, Danelaw looks absolutely beautiful. I think she's been really set for this race. There she is on screen there. Damien Oliver on board. Just had a little bit of luck. He's got to use all his skill. He's drawn 11, and as you know, there's only that short run down to the big sweeping turn here. Grand Archway, they've all done pretty well. Confer, she had no luck at all in the Wakeful Stakes. When Shane Dye was looking for a run, he sort of got poleaxed and just didn't have a lot of run. Rose of Dane, that ran home very well, number 7, ridden by Greg Hall. They're all just about set, Dan.
Apogee Storm goes into the middle of the line and they're ready to go. Set for the Crown Oaks. And they're racing now. Curio Jade a bit slow to begin. Toy Carousel bounced out in front of Grand Archway, Rose of War. Rose of Dane forward in the early part. Dane last 4 deep around Apogee Storm, Love to Honour and Zaza Bell on the rails. Then Curio Jade and Carmenesque and a length and a half away Confer at the tail of the field. A mad rush in the early part for horses to go forward. And it's Rose of Dane, a surprise early leader, taking over from Toy Carousel, and Dane Lars now up to second around the great Toy Carousel. Grand Archway fourth around Rose of War, then Zaza Bell the inside. Love to Honour next, a length and a quarter back to Curio Jade, a half to Apogee Storm, 1.5 to Confer, and last is Carmenesque as they head along the back, 1,700 left to go. And the leader is Rose of Dane. Dane last second, Grand Archway up to third, but just travelling a little bit wide at the moment. Toy Carousel with a box seat, fourth offence. Then came Rose of War, next the inside Zaza Bell. From Love to Honour, Curio Jade, Apogee Storm, Confer, and Carmenesque is a length and a half away at the tail end of the field. 1,500 metres to go. Rose of Dane in front by nearly 2 lengths to Danelar. Toy Carousel third, Grand Archway fourth, and Zaza Bell fifth. Then Rose of War, next on the inside, Curio Jade, a half a length away, Love to Honour. 1.5 lengths to Apogee Storm, third last. Then Confer and Carmenesque at the rear, some 8 to 10 lengths off the lead. 1,200 left to go, and it's Rose of Dane by a length and a half to the stablemate Danelar. Third, Toy Carousel getting a lovely run. Grand Archway running fourth, and Zaza Bell fifth. Half a length away, Rose of War. Then Curio Jade on the inside of Love to Honour. Apogee Storm around Confer, and a length away, Carmenesque. They've got 900 metres left to go on the Oaks, and it's Rose of Dane in front by 3/4 of a length to Danelar. Third, Toy Carousel. Grand Archway fourth, Zaza Bell fifth. In sixth spot, Rose of War, then Curio Jade, Love to Honour. Apogee Storm 3 wide from Confer, and Carmenesque is last as they sweep up to the turn, 600 to go. And Rose of Dane led from Danelar. Grand Archway 3 deep. Zaza Bell around Toy Carousel, going up wide, Curio Jade. Rose of War working into the race, and then Love to Honour and Apogee Storm. In the straight though, Rose of Dane and Danelar tackled by Grand Archway, Curio Jade. Rose of War running on strongly, 300 to go. It's Grand Archway, Curio Jade and Rose of War. Grand Archway on the inside, Rose of War, Zaza Bell getting out. It's Grand Archway, Rose of War. They've got away from Curio Jade. Grand Archway, Rose of War. Grand Archway and Nick in front. Rose of War can't get her. Grand Archway in front of the Oaks. Grand Archway. Grand Archway's completed the Wakefield and Oaks double and beaten Rose of War and Zaza Bell. Then Curio Jade, Rose of Dane, Danelar. Toy Carousel next in from Confer, then Carmenesque. Well back, Love to Honour and Apogee Storm at the tail of the field.
Well, Grand Archway, she's outstayed them. Beautifully ridden by Opie Bossum. He was very lucky. I spoke of early before the race about the luck that Danelar and those horses have to have for the wine barriers. Well, they didn't get it. Once you had to go to the lead, and Danelar really had no cover, where Opie Bossum on Grand Archway was able to get a beautiful sit behind Danelar and had that cover. But,
and fought on well. When a horse is challenged like this, Gary, the horses with momentum are on the outside, obviously, and she just continued to respond like a true 1.5-mile horse.
Yeah, very good win. And Rose of War, I thought at one stage she was going to definitely, get to it with Jimmy Cassidy on. But Opie Bossum, what a wonderful introduction to Australian racing he's had.
2, 6 and 12 are official. Zaza Bell third. Fourth in was Confer, fifth Toy Carousel. Curio Jade weakened right out of it in the last 100. And of course the Danelar and Rose of Dane may have surprised a few because they did race forward. They usually get back in their races, Gary.
Well, that's right. Well, once you go forward, Dan, it's very hard to be facing the breeze, as you put it, and to run the 2,500 metres out. Here they are here. And 3 from the inside rail, blue cap, and I'm pretty sure Johnny Letts would have the winning jockey.
Yes, Gary, I've got Opie here, and Opie, your first Group 1 in Australia. Oh, it's just great, I just can't believe it. And you won a race earlier in the week on this filly, the Wakefield Stakes. Yeah. Was there ever in any doubt that she'd run the distance?
I was never in any doubt. She got to line strongly last time.
And I didn't think it'd worry her at all. Didn't she really dug in deep, didn't she, really, when you two fillies raced away from the field? Yeah, we got to the front easy. She gawked around a little bit when she was in front, but she just tries her heart out. She just fought them off too well. Would you ever doubt that she'd run the distance? Never. And your first Group 1 in Australia, how does it feel at Flemington?
Just great, I can't believe it.
Yes, and I think we might see you back here a bit more often.
Hope so, yes.
Congratulations, Opie. Great ride.
Here's the winning trainer, Graham Rogerson. You told us on Saturday afternoon you thought she'd win the Oaks, and that was a solid staying performance, beautifully ridden.
She covered a lot of ground, so there's no excuses for them. She hit the front, top of the straight and still beat them. I think she's a very good filly. I think she's the best staying filly around. Great credit to Jim and the staff. She was very, very fit, and I think come the autumn you'll see a real good horse.
They looked an even lot today. Did you go into the race reasonably confident?
Well, she's won 5 out of 11, and no other horse in the race has won more than 3. And I thought she beat them fair and square Saturday, all the excuses. She's come from behind them and beat them, and Hope said she had a lot left. So I thought, well, if she had a lot left, yeah. But anyway, she's won the race, and that's what counts.
You put a huge rap on this young man on Saturday. Now he's scored his biggest victory here in Australia. How high can he go?
He's going to be he's a good boy. Keep him under my thumb. He's off back to Christchurch tomorrow. I got 10 horses at the carnival racing on Saturday. I'm off to the Breeders' Cup tonight, so you know I think you'll see a lot of him in the autumn. How will he get off it now?
There seem to be some very excited owners. Some of the people who are with you today, they're really pleased about this.
Eric Watson's a great bloke. The bloke that owns half of it with me, and he's just been so wonderful, you know, and he's got another 30 horses beside this horse, so they're good owners.
And finally, Graham, just before the race, I said if Kensington Palace had stayed sound, I thought she would have been a Cups horse this year. 12 months down the track, who knows?
Oh, a lot can happen in 24 hours. I'm happy to get the money today.
Well done. Graham Rogerson, the trainer of Grand Archway. As I said, he told us on Saturday afternoon that filly was going to take some beating in the Oaks Stakes, and that's exactly the way it panned out. She had a lovely run. As Graham said, she did cover a little bit of ground, but what a story this is. This is a name that you're going to be hearing a lot of. His name is Owen Patrick, but everyone calls him Opie. Opie Bosson scores his biggest win as he brings Grand Archway back to scale after the Crown VRC Oaks, and he is a young man of great talent. Remember the riders who have come over from New Zealand over the years, and Graham Rogerson said, this kid, he's going to be better than Shane Dye. That is a big accolade because Shane Dye is one of the finest Group 1 jockeys we've got in this country. But there is no doubt this man has the hands of a horseman. He's just 18 years of age. He's got maturity beyond his years, and he's going to be a great name in the riding ranks for many years to come. A big smile on his face, smiles all round for the owners. I've never seen a happier lot of owners. They were like split watermelons when they came into the mounting yard. In fact, a couple of them might have watched the race in the members' bar because they didn't even let go of their drinks when they came in. So they've got an early reason to celebrate. And Opie Bosson makes his way to the scales now. And of course, all of the fillies carry the same weight of 55.5 kilos in the Oaks. He heads to the scales after completing his biggest victory. Des Gleeson is about to be handed the skull cap and the whip. 55.5, and Mark Aston has the young champ with him.
Thanks, Pete. Opie, bit of fun?
Oh, just great, I can't believe it.
How are you feeling at the moment?
I'm just buzzing out, yeah.
Your first Group 1 in Australia?
It is, yeah.
And Letzi said out there that he just had to go a little bit early. You're in front on the turn. How did you feel there?
Yeah, I didn't want to get to the front too soon. She walked around a little bit, but once the other horse came up outside me, she knuckled down and forward on.
You enjoy racing here at Flemington?
Oh, very much so, yes.
Good on you. Congratulations. Enjoy the moment.
Thank you.
Opie, just quickly,
Opie Bosson, there he is, the young man, and that is a name that we are going to constantly hear about in the next years. A move to Australia surely is on the cards any tick of the clock. And what about Grand Archway? Will we be talking about her in 12 months' time? Who knows? She was a great winner. She showed tremendous courage, and she's won the VRC Crown Oaks for 1998. We'll be back with the presentation at Fabulous Flemington after this.
Tonight. Well, what a moment in that young Kiwi's life. Opie Bosson, winner of the Crown VRC Oaks for 1998. And a happy Kiwi he is too, as well he should be. Terrific ride, and there's the winner, Grand Archway, with that beautiful little rug, and that means correct weight is there. We can pay you some money right around the country. Here's Dan.
Thank you, Tim. 770 and 240 for Grand Archway, 250 Rosa War, 290 Zaza Bell, Quinella 27.60, trifecta $619.80, and the race-to-race double $11.10 for Esker and Grand Archway. Officially fourth in was number 4, and fifth in was number 3.
All right, thank you, Dan. We're just waiting the presentations now. The big crowd here milling around, and we'll have the sashing of the winner first. I think it was jockey Mick Mallion who once said, he was speaking about Leilani and called her one of the best fillies going around. He said, if she could cook, I'd marry her. And I think anyone who backed Grand Archway is probably thinking exactly the same thing. Great win, and as Peter Donegan said, we'll see a lot more of Grand Archway if she stays sound. And there's our presentations in the background, just getting ready to happen. Sashing of the horse first, and there's another feature race down during Cup Carnival week for 1998. The Crown VRC Oaks for this year, run and won by Grand Archway, and she's pretty relaxed about life this afternoon too. Presentations are now ready on the members' lawn. Here's Rob Gaylard.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. One of the features here on the third day of this magnificent carnival, the Crown Oaks for 1998. It is the 138th of this series. To begin our presentations, ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the VRC, Mr. David Burke.
Members of the committee, distinguished guests, ministers of Victoria, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the committee, I'd like to thank Crown for the sponsorship of this prestigious race, the Crown Oaks. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Jamie Bartels, Executive General Manager, Entertainment, Events and Sports Marketing, will make the presentation to the winning owner, trainer and jockey. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jamie Bartels.
Thank you, Chairman. On behalf of Crown, Australia's World of Entertainment, I'm pleased to be here today for this 6th year of sponsorship of the Crown VRC Oaks. Today we've witnessed a magnificent race won by a great filly, Grand Archway. It was trained to the minute by Graham Rogerson and ridden to perfection by leading New Zealand apprentice, Opie Bosson. And what a marvellous ride it was. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the 1998 Crown Oaks winner, and on behalf of the syndicate, I would like to present the trophy to Mr. Eric Watson.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the committee, the President, I'd like to particularly thank Crown Casinos, Lloyd's. Fabulous that you could put up such a wonderful trophy and also agree to accommodate me for the whole week and the rest of us. I'd really like to thank, I guess, most of all, Graham Rogerson for being so supportive in my racing investments and really helping me buy into thoroughbreds that are just world class. Another sort of a victory today for New Zealand. We're delighted to be able to say that. It's been a big day for us. I'd like to thank Opie, who was New Zealand's star jockey and is about to become Australia's star jockey, for an absolutely sensational ride once again. He's only ridden twice for me in group races and won twice. He's just going to be the best. I'd particularly like to thank Berry Stud for breeding the horse, remaining shareholders with us in the horse. A great sire in Archway. They've got a fabulous sire there who's meant to be a sprinting stallion sire, and he's just obviously much, much more than that. I'd also like to thank Jim. Jim, who works for Graham, has done a tremendous job, Jim Melton, with the horse and all the other horses in the Rogerson Melbourne stable. It's been a big day for me. It's not every day you have a Group 1 winner, and it's not every day you get engaged. So this morning we did that, and we can't believe how lucky we've been. So Nikki and I did that. But finally, thank you to Melbourne. What an absolutely wonderful carnival. It's the first time I've been here for the whole carnival, and I'll be back every year. And once again, thank you to you all.
Thank you, congratulations.
Dual reason to celebrate for the connections of Grand Archway after the VRC Crown Oaks of 1998. A wonderful filly, And the Wakeful Stakes form has held up yet again, Jennifer. As we mentioned before the race, 7 of the past 12 have gone on to win the Oaks. We can now make that 8 of 13. She is the best staying filly, but that is ancient history now. We're going to find the winner of the next, the Siemens Mobile Stakes, scratching as number 1 special edition, and you have gone for
the 3-year-old filly, number 10, My Jasper. In fact, she was only beaten just over 3 lengths by Grand Archway in the Wakeful Stakes on Saturday. I thought she had a terrific chance here. Number 2, Typhoon. He's the class horse in the race. He'll get a long way back, but he should be running on strongly at the end. And number 3, Smart Banker, is always thereabouts.
Okay, Smart Banker from a few of the boys, and I've gone for Typhoon. I thought he probably was the class horse of the field, as you said, Jen. Coming back from the Derby, the run before that at Caulfield and the Norman Robinson was very good. He's opened up round about $9.10, and it's $3.74. Smart Banker, My Jasper, the one that you like in the race, and I give a very good each way chance to at $8.90. Gothic Titan is at $8.50, is right in the betting, and My Kahuna King, number 15, is also not hopeless in this. It's a pretty tough race, race 7. Siemens Mobile Stakes at $3.25. Let's get the wash up from the bookmakers after the Crown Oaks, and also look forward to race 7 with Tim Gossage.
It wasn't exactly a clean slate for the bookmakers in that last one with Grand Archway winning, Peter. There was a bit of specking for the horse, but they did get plenty out of the failing plunge of Rosa Dane. So I would say bookies won, but it exactly wasn't a clean slate, as I said. Moving on to the next race, race 7, and Smart Banker has opened up favourite, only just though ahead of number 12, Gothic Titan. Look at Gothic Titan now, $8.80 on the tote, 3 points shorter in the ring. Not much separates these two, but Smart Banker currently is the favourite in the bookmakers' ring.
Well, perhaps we might see a winner in the Lee Freedman colours with Smart Banker. It's been a lean carnival for Lee. Of course, he had 3 runners there in the Oak Stakes and was unable to win the race. Got second with Rosa War, but maybe the drought might break for Lee Freedman. His stable is in a bit of a transitionary period. And here they go striding to the line now. Some of the emotions, as I said, they were some very excited connections. And here they are inside the 200 metres. Opie Bosson driving this wonderful filly away. Grand Archway, Rosa War on the outside in the pink sleeves, hot in pursuit. But the connections who woke up this morning and decided they'd get engaged. Rosa War trying to get to Grand Archway, but they had dual reason to celebrate after that wonderful filly passed the post. It's the major race on the 3rd day of the Melbourne Cup Carnival, and the Kiwis have the spoils yet again after Jezebel's victory in the Melbourne Cup. We'll be back soon.
Good afternoon.
Little ladies and big ladies, the ladies with 4 legs, that's the sort of day it is here at Flemington for VRC Oaks Day. And a little wave, thank you very much. And a lot of smiles. It's just a beautiful day, and down in our marquee, it's always beautiful with the lovely Sandra Sully.
Thank you, Tim. You know, we didn't get a chance to have breakfast at Tiffany's today, but we might think about afternoon tea. Janelle Cummins is with us now, the sales director from Tiffany's. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Actually, my pleasure to be here. Tiffany's is very pleased to be at this day. It's a very special fashion day for the ladies, so we thought it was appropriate that the ladies were adorned with some Tiffany jewels.
Now, Tiffany's has been in Melbourne for about 2 years, and we have 2 models here, Yvette and Julie, with some exquisite designs. Tell us a little bit about them.
Well, I'll start with Yvette. She's actually wearing around her neck the dragonfly from the Tiffany Nature series, and on her ears what we call tassel earrings, and if she moves her head the tassels will sort of move as well. But she's being very proper, looks magnificent. And Julie is wearing the classic Tiffany cross and also some little earrings that we call Huggy, and the diamonds not only sparkle from the outside but they're actually channel set on the inside, so you don't lose the diamond look right through the earring. And she's got a lovely channel set bracelet